Hey guys, Ben here from Velflex. Now today I'm going to take you through how to heat press an umbrella. Now the reason this is really important to know is because umbrellas are a little bit different to a typical t-shirt or an item that we'd be wearing because the fabric is so thin, all right? This is a synthetic, it's a nylon, sometimes polyester, but think of it as nylon, super thin, heats up really quickly, and most importantly, under heat, we find that the fabric will shrink under the heat plate when you go to press it. Now this is important because when it shrinks, it causes the transfer to cockle and makes it really difficult to peel and you have a poor application. So guys, there's a little trick to this one and the magic is in the pre-press, okay? So I'm gonna show you how I would press an umbrella. I'm gonna do this here with UltraColour Max and I'm also gonna do one with UltraColour Pro as well, just to show you those two. Okay, so we're gonna open up this umbrella right here. Now, if I had a smaller plate, here we go. And there we go, done, it's opening up, cool. What we do is we just get the umbrella and we sit it like this. Now, if I had a box, I could always put a box underneath the actual heat press there just to hold the umbrella out so it's not swinging down, okay? Now see this here, we've got the spines of the umbrella as well, which are up here on top of the plate. Because I'm wanting to put a transfer here, we'll do the white side so that we can see the logo, okay? So you've got to be really careful that we don't squash these or break these, okay? And you can do that sort of like by having them perfectly flat. If you want to risk breaking these, you can put them under the plate and look, a lot of the time you get away with it. But if you don't have a smaller plate and you do have the spine on the top plate, what you can use is get yourself a little bit of padding like this. So this is the 5mm silicone pad, okay? Just remember, if we put one at the front like we have here, make sure you put one at the back of the plate so that your plate, when it comes down, is nice and level. That way you'll get even pressure across the front one, okay? If we don't do that one, the top plate, when it comes down, it'll be levered like a seesaw and you'll have no pressure on the front here. Okay, so if we're gonna use this like I am today, we're gonna put one at the back as well. Now, when we bring this up, what you're gonna find now is, see the spines, they're gonna press down into this little gap here and there's gonna be no pressure on them whatsoever, so that umbrella is nice and safe. And most importantly, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna give it a pre-press. Now, our instructions say 150 degrees, 10 seconds. That is absolutely not what we're gonna do here because it's just way too long. What we wanna do is some quick applications because we're gonna do a pre-press. The heat is gonna heat up the fabric very quickly, okay? The glue's not gonna run into the fabric when we do the transfer, it's just gonna sit on top so we can shorten these down. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go for a 4-second pre-press and we're gonna do a 4-second application, okay? Cool, so we've got 4 seconds, press. Okay, it's gonna move out of my way. Now, if we were to have a nice close look, you can actually see that it's perfectly flat here, but it's gathered over here. You can sort of see where the heat press stopped and you can see the difference in the fabric. And that's because this part of the fabric has actually shrunk, whereas the fabric on the outside where it wasn't pressed is still the original size, and so it has to gather and have that wave through it. And it's this waviness that your transfer plastic will do exactly the same thing. When the fabric underneath shrinks, that plastic on top has to get a curve into it, a wave in it, to be able to shrink with the bottom fabric. But in doing that, it pulls the transfer up. Wherever it lifts up in that wave, it pulls the transfer off the fabric, and that's what we don't want. So what we're doing here is we're going to now place our transfer right in the middle because that's where we've pressed previously and pre-shrunk the fabric, making sure that that centering's nice, just like that. We move our press over and we get to do our next press. And we're only doing a 4-second application because it's already really, really hot. And we just get to peel it just like that. Okay, now if you wanted to, because we're doing really short presses, and I know a lot of people like a post press, if you were wanting to do a post press, you could do a post press onto that. But if you're pressing through nice and quick, some people will be doing multiple sides, so they'll then move on to this side. do a pre-press, do a press, move on to the next one, you'll find that your fabric becomes super hot, okay? The base plate becomes really hot. It's heating up your fabric. Even before the top plate gets across, the heat coming through is contributing to that application. Now I'm gonna do one more application. We're going to press an UltraColour Pro transfer, just to show you exactly the same. So I'm gonna press that down, 4 seconds. Moves out of the way, place our logo down, okay, and I can feel the heat coming through on that. Another 4 seconds just for the application. Moves it out of the way, and then we go for a quick peel, just like that. Came away just like butter. Really good application. You see, even all of these fine little dots. If we were pressing for too long, if we were doing lots of applications, a lot of heat in the base plate, heat from the top plate, and we were doing 8, 9, 10 seconds per press, even with the pre-press and then the application, you might find that your transfers stop sticking and they simply lifting up because there's just too much heat there. It doesn't allow the glue to cool down and actually hold for when we want to peel the carrier off. So guys, when we're doing umbrellas, I do know of a business years ago that told me they used to do umbrellas with a 1 second pre-press, a 1 second application, and then a 1 second post-press. So that's what they found worked for their business. I'm probably not as quick as that. I'm thinking the 3 to 4 seconds is a perfect good number. Okay, so 4 second pre-press, 4 second application, and away you go. And that's how you get perfect application onto a product like this, such as an umbrella. Cheers, guys.